Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are a player that suffers with excessive sway during the swing, then I have just the drill for you. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what the sway can cause and how we're going to fix it. So let's get into it. So you are a player that's watching this video because you suffer too much with excessive sway into the backswing, and that can cause a lot of problems. So the first problem that you'll actually suffer with if you have excessive hip sway is low point control. There is a potential that your low point will be too far behind the golf ball. So as I start to move into the backswing and I move my pelvis, well, my chest will get dragged with it as well perhaps, but my pelvis too far off center, then there is a chance that I won't recover and I'm going to hit the ground first. What we do know about all of the great players out there is at point of contact, certainly with an iron shot, their pelvis is anywhere between 4 to 7 inches further forward and their chest about 1 to 3 inches further forward. So we are placing ourselves in front of the golf ball into impact, which is one of the most helpful ways to achieve more shaft lean. Because I'd like to think that where I go, my arms will typically go with me. Now, yes, there are players that will leave them behind, but for the most part, if we move forward, so will the handle, so will the strike point. So I believe that if we can get our weight in the right spot, certainly at the top of the swing, you've got a chance at moving it forward into the downswing. Now, the second problem that I see players face when they have too much hip sway is as they get to the top, you'll notice that my pelvis is outside of my chest. Now, this is poor because into the downswing, there's going to be an incorrect sequence. My chest is going to lead over my hips. I have a chance of getting too far ahead of the golf ball with my upper this time. So for players that are able to save it, and that's going to result in a too much of a steep swing. So certainly from this angle, if I take that sway and I start to go here at the top, and now my chest leads, you'll notice how much more vertical this is. If I start to certainly lead with the pelvis, and I get it in the right order, you can see how that club naturally shallows a little bit more from the inside. So the last thing I'm going to explain before I show you the drill is where do I want my weight? Where do I want my pelvis to be during the swing? So from an address position, I would say that around 55–60% forward is tour average. From here, as we move into the backswing, yes, there will be an element of movement off center. There'll be an element of movement to the right-hand side to get this thing moving. But what we know from all the greats is by the time they get to shaft parallel, they are already moving back. So let's assume there's 60–70% here. They're going to move all the way back to 50% at the top and then 60, 70, 80, 90% forward as they start to strike that golf ball. Which brings me on to one of the most simple drills to help you do that. So right here, I just have a yoga block, just a simple triangular yoga block, and we're going to place that on the outside of our right foot. So I'm just going to place it like this. Now this does a few things for me. Firstly, it creates a little bit of a wall for me to push off of. And secondly, because my right foot is slightly elevated, I've already got enough pressure here. So then when I start to move into the backswing, I can certainly feel that there's a little bit of pressure running through that knee, but I now got a platform to push off of. So as I start to move into the backswing, as I get to shaft parallel, from here as I start to move to the top, I'm going to feel like I'm actually pushing off of that wall. So we go shaft parallel, push off of the wall into the middle, and if I start to blend that together, it'll look a little bit more flowy. And if I just nudge this ball out the way here, I can start to move more forward through the shot. And I can certainly see that my low point, I can see where the club's just touching or brushing the ground here. I can see that it's way easier for me to start doing that. And again, I would say that as I start to move here and move to the top, it would be my pelvis that moves a little bit more forward. Now from this angle, if I just flip it around, as I start to get that pelvis a little bit more forward, you'll notice how the body line can even stay a little bit more closed as I do that. So all the time I sway off onto my right hip and then start getting steep with the chest, you can see how that club has the potential to pitch out in front of me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hit a few shots with this, just demonstrating and talking you through exactly what I'm feeling as I do this. So I've got this here under my right foot, and I would actually not be scared to practice going back to shaft parallel, putting a bit of pressure through that and then pushing off of it and then hitting some shots. So just hit that a little bit out the heel there, hence why it cut. But again, I really felt like I compressed it and hit quite a long way out after the golf ball. So again, I'll do one more where I'm feeling like I'm pushing off of that wall nice and early into the backswing, rather than doing it too late into the downswing. Because if I do it in the downswing, I think that's a little bit too late to get back onto the ball. So again, I would go here, push off of that wall. Now you can see that one come out a lot lower. Now I did pull that, but I could really feel like the compression was there. So I had to zoom out a little bit here, but hopefully you will get the idea of exactly how we're moving. So again, jumping back on my wedge here, making sure that as I move into the downswing, I'm pushing, or sorry, at the end of the backswing, I'm pushing away from this. So from here, moving into the backswing from P2 to P4, which is top of the swing, I'm pushing back off of that as a sensation. So again, go back to parallel, to the top, and through. And again, that one felt amazing. So one more from this angle. So from here, this time I'm going to make it flow a little bit better. Feel like I'm pushing off of that nice and early. And because I put that all together, that one felt absolutely amazing. So I hope that drill was helpful for a lot of you. And if you did like the video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you could subscribe, it would really mean a lot to me. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.